Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and we have a very interesting video, not actually a comparison, but a very interesting video for you lads and laddises today. This is a fan request, and would you look at the staggering percentage of you that wanted to see this one. 71% of you wanted to see how many bodybuilders from the 1999 Mr. Olympia event would have defeated Derek Lunsford. So Derek Lunsford, the poor guy, he has to go against the greatest lineup of all time. Now, we're not going to disrespect Derek too much for this one, so we're only going to be looking at the top six, which consisted of Nasser Al-Sonbody in 6th place, Sean Ray got 5th, we had Kevin Levrone in 4th place, Chris Cormier in 3rd, Flex Wheeler in 2nd, and of course, yeah buddy, ding ding ding, Ronnie King Coleman. He took the big win. Of course he did. He's Ronnie King Coleman. So how many of these gentlemen would be able to defeat poor Derek Lunsford? I mean, I just do not see Derek Lunsford even coming close to any of the guys in the top 3. You have Chris Cormier, look at those abs, those quads. King Coleman, ring-a-ding-ding, are you kidding me? And Flex Wheeler, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, Derek, he's just not big enough to deal with these guys. And then you got 4th and 5th, Kevin Levrone. He's obviously going to be a lot bigger than Derek. And then Sean Ray, very aesthetically pleasing, and not too much smaller than Derek. Well, gee, I don't know. Derek looks pretty wide, doesn't he? But I definitely think it's possible that these guys would beat Derek, isn't it? And what about 6th? Oh, I guess we are going to mention the guy that did play 7th just this once. And it is Big Paul Dillette. And look at Derek against the 6th and 7th place dudes at this Olympia. He is being dwarfed. So how many guys could beat Derek? Well, at least 7, right? I'm just joking. When they turned around, obviously, Derek Lunsford would make Sean Ray, Kevin Levrone, and Paul Dillette all look like they were about, I don't know, 8 weeks out? Maybe more? Compared to Derek, are you kidding me? Doesn't matter either. Oh, here's another little shootout that just proves, even against Chris Cormier, and Chris has an awesome back, but you gotta face facts, guys. Sean Ray, for his time, he had some pretty striated glutes. But it is just not even a comparison. Not even a competition. So yes, Derek definitely would be outsized, maybe outclassed as far as Sean Ray is concerned. The posing, the striking of the poses, things of that nature. But look at the side lag, guys. Look at the condition. But of course, there would be some shots Derek would lose to some of these guys. But ultimately, it's just a different game altogether. And earlier I did say, well, Sean Ray, he's close to being the same size as Derek Lunsford. Not even close, guys. See that? It's just a different sport altogether. I would like to see the weight difference between Sean Ray and Derek Lunsford. I almost guarantee you that Derek is a few pounds anyway. I don't want to say a number. So yeah, as Derek would start to go through these shots, he would show that he is an incredible athlete and not just a guy that wouldn't come close to the guys in the 90s. And I know the guys that competed in the 90s, well, some of them anyway, they always say foolishness like, oh, today's competitors are no good. They wouldn't stand a chance. Well, I got news for you. Derek Lunsford, as we speak, is consistently getting victories over guys that are built maybe even better structurally than the guys in the 90s in these two dudes, Samson Dauda and Andrew Jacked. But it is the conditioning, guys, the conditioning from behind that counts. And the guys from the 90s, they're on an average now. They're just not as peeled as they are today. So Derek, definitely, he would be in that first call-out situation. Now, if you want to talk realistically, would Derek defeat anybody in the top 3? From the front, he sure isn't. I mean, we have 3 heavy hitters in Chris Cormier, King Coleman, and Flex Wheeler, but Derek is no stranger to losing shots like this. Like I mentioned before, the back would be his bread and butter for sure, and a guy like Flex Wheeler, who, in my opinion, not putting words in anybody else's mouth, but in my opinion, he was the weaker of the 3 because of the back. And one-on-one, I mean, it wouldn't even be close. The condition from behind is just too much. Plus the back size. Now, Chris Cormier, against, I don't want to get into robbery, saying he was raw, but against Derek Lunsford, I think you'd be better equipped being a Chris Cormier than a Flex Wheeler. But still, look at that saran wrap skin, guys. That thin skin of Derek, it just means a lot. But Chris Cormier, nobody's fool. And there would be most certainly some poses that he would impose his very will. And, I mean, come on. Chris Cormier, I mentioned your Samson Doudas and things of that nature, but he didn't have the abs of a Chris Cormier. Of course, Andrew Jack does. Maybe even Hattie Shupin. He's beaten those guys, isn't he? But would he play that stuff with King Coleman? Ronnie King Coleman is a different story altogether. I mean, he's obviously defeating Derek, structure, and we've been through this a million times. There's just nothing Derek can do. Arm department, legs, things of that nature. And you go through the poses, the deeper you get into it, the worse it gets for poor Derek. And even some good strong poses for Derek. You see, Lunsford can play that condition game with a lot of guys through a lot of decades. Well, there might be one shot here and there. But even then, I don't know. And Coleman might even get him in the side tricep. But when Derek turns around, it's usually lights out, but not against Coleman. It is the rear lights out, let's spread, ding, ding, ding. At both back shots. I mean, Derek, he's swinging and punching. A couple of, the lats, things of that nature, but it's a knockout shot. Legs, arms, just overall size. Plus, he has that negative body fat percentage to match Derek. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at the abs on these two bruisers. I mean, oh my soul. Unbelievable. I'm just teasing is all. Here's their real midsections. And at least Coleman has some separation there. Not the best. This is probably his weakest pose, and he's even defeating Derek in this. And Derek's midsection, I mean, we're talking patty cake, baker man. Bake him a cake as fast as you can. Soggy, plush. That's a plush belly, if I've ever seen one. Look at Coleman. Like I said, we've been through this a billion times probably. And obviously Derek Lunsford, he's not beating Coleman. Nobody back then was beating Coleman. But in my opinion, and maybe a very unpopular opinion, how many people from the Olympia 1999 would defeat Derek Lunsford? One, Ronnie King Coleman. And I think Derek would take the rest of them. So Derek, you might be upset at me doing the patty cake, baker's man thing, but at least he's probably not too upset with me. Because I tell it like it is. hit thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, well, go ahead and give me that little click the thumbs up anyway, because I'm funny sometimes. And let me know, how many guys do you realistically, all poses, not just the front ones, would defeat Derek Lunsford using this 2023 version? Have a nice one.